how do I help them feel like they're doing their job exceptionally well? And how do I get what I need? I just verbalize it. You're at the table to accomplish what? Tell me what you're after and pull them with you. Like I tell people like, get in the boat with me. We have a common goal.
So what does it really take for your business to attract world-class talent today? I'm Dave Travers, president of ZipRecruiter, and on Talent All-Stars, we shine a light on the people and the day-to-day processes behind recruitment and retention at some of the world's most influential businesses. If you're an HR talent professional and you want to be more involved in business strategy, then this is the episode for you. Our guest is Kelly Culler from Northwestern Mutual, a financial services company that's grown really fast in recent years. Kelly's official title is VP of Talent Acquisition and Senior HR Business Partner. She has a really interesting vantage point at the firm, and she didn't get there by accident. In fact, Kelly's been super intentional about her career path. So here's Kelly Culler of Northwestern Mutual on the difference between her work as a recruiter and as an HR business partner, or BP.
The skills and the abilities and the instincts you have in one complement the other, or it counteracts it. For example, in TA, sometimes it's about pace, it's about delivering, it's about execution. Those things all come naturally to me. That's probably why recruiting continues to follow me. And as a BP, you need caution. You need pragmatism. You need intentionality all the time, or you can really get yourself into high risk situations. So on the skills side, it teaches you how to balance them out and sort of counteract some of your worst impulses. I want to go faster. I really need to think about the risks if I go faster. If you don't have that other training in recruiting, you're just going to be fast. And I tell my recruiters, you got to do fast before breakfast. What I want to see are the things that are much harder to develop around the value proposition of what you do, around relationship management, around deliver something else, deliver something more important than your pace. You put that all together, it's this wonderful spectrum of challenges and opportunities and skill building, really, whether it's hard or soft skills, where I feel like I've really rounded out my leadership persona and my work personality and how I come to the table.
What's so interesting is that I think so many people in talent acquisition and so many people who do HRBPs have these preconceived notions about what the other part of the HR function does. So the HRBPs, I often hear, it's sort of a little bit like, I can't believe we have these talent acquisition people who are like these high pressure salespeople in the HR department where we're trying to manage risk and we got to bring the Wild West under a little bit of control. And on the flip side, the talent acquisition people are like, I got to make stuff happen. Like I've got numbers to hit. I can't just manage risk all day. I've actually got, so when you talked about this beautiful spectrum where you're marrying the two, how did you do that? Because I don't think most people have found the beautiful spectrum yet.
If there was top 3 things of advice I would give CHROs, it's take your top leaders and make them work in a COE and be a BP.
So that's a center of excellence and a business partner.
And a business partner role. My boss did that, and some of it was really like fish out of water for people, but he did it because he knew they would train themselves on thinking like the other person that's supposed to be their client or their partner or their collaborator, right? COEs and HR are actually supposed to serve the BP. It's supposed to have the synchronicity to it. And unfortunately, even if you're all really skilled, you end up in some conflicts and friction sort of about how you're going to solve the problem, even though it's the same problem you're supposed to be trying to solve together. And I think that experience of doing that tour, of being in compensation and Ben or L&D or wherever you are, gives you an appreciation of, I have to build strategy for my client, collaborate with them to make it work, and then help them execute it. Without that, I don't know that you can understand it. And so I really value the experiences that both gave me. And I tell people to do that, to pursue that. Or when we're having a conflict, I use empathy to say, well, they don't understand it because they never had to be in that position. And so you have to help them understand how to come to the table to help you. Let's say, in that example, it's a BP.
So as you think about sort of walking a mile in the shoes of the person you're interacting with, whether that's you're in conflict or you're just trying to get resources from them or whatever the case may be. And that is such a broad life skill set, business skill set, but so applicable to talent acquisition leaders because as you referenced earlier, they're in go sell mode often. And taking a deep breath when you're having a conflict with someone or you're trying to get somebody to agree to increase the compensation to land this great candidate or whatever it is, going straight into why we have to do this without walking a mile in the shoes of why is this HR business partner so stuck on our previous compensation framework or whatever the case may be, is often the faster path to overcoming the barriers, often to listen and think about the other person's perspective. Do you have any examples of where that's worked for you?
So I try to frame it up with, how do I help them feel like they're doing their job exceptionally well? And how do I get what I need? Or it could be reverse, right? I just verbalize it. I'm a very direct person. You're at the table to accomplish what? Tell me what you're after. Well, I'm supposed to be helping you is actually the answer. And then you have an opportunity to say, well, here's what I'm trying to get to. And I think instead of coming thoughtfully with what is the outcome you're trying to achieve together and verbalize it and pull them with you. Like I tell people, like, get in the boat with me. We're trying to accomplish the same thing. And I don't think we say that enough to each other. I think reminding people of what we're trying to accomplish is really effective.
Let's talk a little bit about, you've been at an amazing company that's much older than a lot of the companies people have been with, that's grown a lot, that's been through a lot. How did you, as you bounced around between some really cool different companies in your career, you've now been at Northwestern Mutual for several years, like how did you know when you were making the leap, this company could be a good fit for me?
I dug and dug in the interview process. So when I interview, people do not do this enough. I spend most of my time asking about culture and nuances of culture because I'm trying to figure out, am I going to be able to do my best work here is how I would summarize it, right? But there's lots of lenses you could put on that. And what I heard over and over was the compass is finely tuned to around value of people. And we have a lot of work to do around transformation, but we're committed and we always do the right thing. No matter who I talk to, that was really, really clear to me. And for me, companies always have their issues, right? It's a question of, are they the issues that are not the worst fit for you? Are you going to be able to do your best work? Come back to that every time. It's never perfect, but those are the ingredients I'm looking for to challenge me and provide opportunities for me to have an impact. And that's what HR practitioners care about. The company I joined before that, I picked for a very particular opportunity around increasing my skills in business partner roles around technology, developing my intuition, decisiveness, some of these other things. And that company worked for my purpose, right? It's fit for purpose at a time and a place in your career. If you can do that, that's nirvana. You can't always do that. So the advice I give is then pick your leader, because the leader is going to be fundamental to how you grow. The leader in some respects is more critical because it's day to day, right? The company is a backdrop. But there was no question for me that we cared about people and that we always do the right thing. And with that, I can do anything.
Yeah.
I can really practice my, art. And I feel like I've been able to do that. I think they lived up to that potential.
Yeah. Amazing. So this is such expert level, picking of your next opportunity, because I think so many talent acquisition leaders, even though they know all the tricks of the trade, even though they've been on the other side of the table, like any human, when you're in the middle of that recruiting process, you may just want it to be over. You may be stressed about the next paycheck or whatever. It's very hard to remember to take a breath and realize I know all the dark arts here. Like I should apply my skills to this. And so the two things you said are amazing. Like one, of course, pick your leader with such care. What you said about the company's the backdrop, the leaders every day. And then I also love, as you were talking about the company and digging in on the company, that every company has issues. And what you said is so important is that it's not to focus only on the positive, wonderful things. But what's even often more important that gets you out of bed every day is that the issues the company has are things I'm excited to work on, not things that are going to get in the way of me becoming who I can truly be. And so when you have that alignment, when the planets align like that, you're set up for real success. I think that's gold. Okay, so now I want to jump into some rapid fire questions. We're stuck in an elevator together. We've got 60 seconds. The CEO happens to get on the same elevator as you and says, "Oh, hey, what's going on, Kelly? What's going on with the TA team? Like, what are your big goals for the year?" How do you answer that question when you're zooming out, explaining to the leadership that isn't living it day to day with you?
So I think being clear about your vision and strategy and priorities, it's fundamental to aligning and executing with any team. Our roles are really about working through others and aligning priorities. So we do that every year. We have a process for that. And for us, we've had a huge focus on skills and skills scarcity. That is a particular challenge for us over the last 5 years as the company has changed how we think about data and technology. And so one of our huge priorities is how we integrate skills into our HR practice. We're thinking about AI and automation and how it will disrupt us and getting ahead of that. At the end of the day, we can be far more productive if we leverage these things. And there's some insane numbers coming out around how much more productive AI can make us. I saw a 50% number the other day. That is just astounding if you think about it. The fundamental goal of any talent acquisition organization is to attract and select fit for purpose skills on demand. You have to build the ability to find whatever you need on any given day. Our ability to go find anyone we need at any given time is what success means for us. And we feel like we're achieving that the way that we measure it. And we certainly hold ourselves accountable to, a strong set of KPIs as well.
Awesome. Okay. One more rapid fire question, which is, hey, I'm an executive, but you're the expert at recruiting. I'm interviewing people all the time. Give me your one best tip to become a better interviewer.
Actually, I think vulnerability and authenticity extract the best out of people. And formality kills conversation and allows a wall to stay up between you and the candidate.
So how do I authentically disarm someone?
Connect with them on a personal level immediately. And be vulnerable yourself. So I role model it and I talk about some of our challenges and how I see things. And I offer that up so I get it in return, and it works every time. And I always have people comment on, really appreciate your candor, really appreciate how realistic and pragmatic you are about this. People want to understand what they're joining. And I think that takes out some of the mystery and fear that people have. If you think about interviewing and recruiting, it's a little insane that people join companies after talking to somebody or a group of somebody's for like 5 hours of their life, maybe 5 hours, right? Early levels, it's going to be less. These are massive, important decisions. And we're going to ask ourselves formal questions that can get formal scripted answers in return. You're just not going to find out who that person is. And who that person is who's joining the company, not just the skills. It's how they use their skills and how they collaborate with others and all these other things. And as soon as you can get to the person, they're going to reveal all of that if you have any art in doing this. And I think it starts with this vulnerability and really trying to take the moment to get to know the person and understand who they are.
Kelly Culler, thank you for your authenticity, vulnerability, wisdom, all of the above. It's clear why you're a talent all-star. Thanks so much for making the time with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's Kelly Culler. She's the VP of Talent Acquisition and Senior HR Business Partner at Northwestern Mutual. We'll put her LinkedIn profile in the notes below. And just as a reminder, we're an audio podcast too. Just search Talent All-Stars in your favorite podcast app and tap follow. I'm Dave Travers. Thanks for listening to Talent All-Stars. We'll see you right back here next week.